Welcome to part 2 of our Cape Agricultural Science Unit 2, IA part 2. Now, you must have watched part 1 where we looked at the broiler production and what was required there for the Cape syllabus. Now, I must commend you that you would have successfully completed the first part of your IA, which is actually section A. Now we're going to be looking at section B, which says to me if you're watching this video, you would have already completed section A, completed your 6 week of practical with the birds, and now it's time for slaughtering. This is our second section, and let's look at what is required by CXC. Award marks as follows for each activity. Advanced skill demonstrated in the performance of the activities, 5 to 6 marks. Essential skills are demonstrated, but some areas require improvement, 3 to 4 marks. Skills are performed with a low level of ability, 1 to 2 marks. I am certain that everybody will be getting 5 or 6. Or might I just say 6? Nobody will be getting 1 or 2 marks, or even 3 or 4. We are going for the highest possible marks. What are we grading for? Sanitation, preparation for slaughtering. What do we do before and during and even after the process of slaughtering? 6 marks. Slaughtering. Do we understand the procedure that involves thereof for slaughtering? Have we looked at module 3 of our syllabus and ensure that we're following the guidelines that are outlined by the syllabus? Or have we read any poultry manual to look at what happens during slaughtering? If you have not, you need to follow this playlist to make sure that you become aware of what is required for section B of the IA. Dressing. How do we dress the birds? It doesn't mean that we're going to be putting on clothes on them, but are we scalding them at the right temperature? Are we defeathering them properly? Does the evisceration process is taken care of well? All that and more are things for us to look at during dressing. Processing. What do we do with the bird now that we have gone to slaughtering, dressing? Now we're talking about packaging, and probably we're going to be making something. Well, you're going to be making something from the processed meat, some sample here. What is it that we're going to be doing here? How is it done? Teacher must include the candidate's earned total marks for the practical activity on the page with the candidate's reflection, as this grade will not be changed by the moderator. Now remember, a lot of persons like to think that, oh, I can just friend up my teacher and get a good mark. If that ever happen, or if it can happen, I don't know that to be true. It is going to hurt you when you see the CAPE exam. Now let us look at the other areas for you to earn marks. 2 more areas. Reflection on practical activity. Challenges, 4 marks. Description of 2 challenges encountered, and you're going to be getting 1 mark for each. Description of how the 2 challenges were resolved. I think I like this. How we resolve the challenges. Why? For the greater part, most persons can find problem, but very few can even think of a solution. Recommendations. 2 recommendations for successful slaughtering of broiler birds. And you're going to be getting 1 mark each. Like I said, you really want to follow in my series of IA for your Cape Agricultural Science to make sure that you come as close as possible to that perfect grade. I am Mr. Wilson from CSEC Biology TCP. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And don't be afraid to drop me a comment as we try to strengthen our agriculture community through this platform. Until we next meet, remember to study to show thyself approved. Now that you have looked at section A of your internal assessment, section B, I thought it prudent to show you from module 3 of unit 2 of your agricultural science CAPE syllabus to show you the relationship between what holds in your practical to what is to be covered on the syllabus. We really don't want our student to see the rearing of the broiler birds as something isolated to the expectation of the syllabus. So I'm going to go with a specific objective 1 up to about 4 or 5 here. And I'm just going to be going through very quickly uh, to show you what is expected of you in the syllabus. So here it is saying in specific objective 1, we're supposed to examine the established procedure for slaughtering of farm animals. So we're looking at section B of our IA. Procedures include in the following activities: ante-mortem inspection, the inspection that is done before you actually carry out your slaughtering process. Condition score, signs of a healthy animal, readiness for slaughter, and of course, slaughtering purposes. Pre-slaughtering activities, we're looking at transport. What time should the animal be transported? Of course, it should be transported at a cool time of the day. Not necessarily morning. You want to transport the animal when it is cool, less stress on the animal. Try to avoid dehydration. All right, so we're looking at time of day there. Sanitation and safety practices. You want to make sure that you are right there with your ASAP and your GMP. You want to make sure that you have knowledge of these. Standard operating procedure. You want to look at food safety organization, what they are saying. You want to have a good idea of these. Slaughtering, the method of slaughtering, that should pretty much be observed in your slaughtering of the birds. Remember, you're going to be graded. So we're looking at pretty much you're going to be collecting the birds from the poultry house. You're going to be transporting the birds in crates. We're going to be looking at how you use a restraint device if you actually use them. Stunning the animal, which could have been, you of course could use manual, mechanical, or electrical method. Killing and bleeding, we want to look at that as well. Sanitation, and remember very well, remember that in your thing, in your IA, you want to make sure that you don't want to say what was done, but why it was done. Remember that throughout your IA, that's an expectation. Mention, this mention of religious and ritual practices, farm animals to include sheep, goat, pigs, chicken, rabbits, cattle. These are the animals that we're expected to look at or have some knowledge of for our. The use of technology in slaughtering activity, stunning, for example, we could use carbon dioxide. There are many other methods. You are going to find that in my presentation, the videos on slaughtering. Examine the established procedures for post-slaughtering handling of farm animal, and this is specific objective 2. Procedure include in the following activities: post-slaughtering handling, such as removal of feather, hair or skin; visceration, removal of entrails; removal of feet, neck, hoofs; post-mortem inspection by qualified personnel; carcass and organs, meat and blood; conditioning and aging to improve quality, draining, chilling, freezing; carcass fabrication. This include meat cuts, organ and other product, for example, liver, heart, lungs, feet, intestine; use of offals, blood and skin, hide, hair; the use of technology In post-slaughtering activities, for example, chilling and vacuum packaging, farm animals to include sheep, goat, pigs, chicken, rabbits, cattle. In 3, examine a processing method used to prepare animal products, overview of processing, definition and benefit, explanation of a process to include environmental friendly and energy saving method, meat, fish, and poultry. Are we looking at curing, cooking, chilling, freezing, fermentation, salting, pickling, smoking, and canning? Non-meat, yogurt, cheese, butter. Pasteurization, churning, fermentation, and canning, bottling, vacuum packaging. Factors to consider when selecting animal product for processing: quality, age, color, marbling, texture, smell, and purpose. Meat, canned meat, salted meat, pickled meat, and non-meat include yogurt, cheese, butter. Good manufacturing practice or practices to be considered to prevent spoilage and contamination during processing, sanitation, storage, temperature, product selection, and consider the use of renewable energy resource for electricity generation. Farm animals are the same set that we have been looking at. And then we get to 4, and we see the ASAP and all the safety uh, procedures that we are supposed to observe. We are going to be stopping here for this presentation. Please be reminded to drop me a comment, help to strengthen this community. You can also share your idea and opinion, and you might find it in one of our posts. Until we next meet, please be reminded to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, study to show thyself approved.